Should there even be a Sonic Adventure 3? Pretty loaded question, that one. Sonic Adventure 3 is probably one of the hottest topics in the Sonic space because ever since Sonic Adventure 2 released, fans have been asking for a Sonic Adventure 3. There have been games released after SA2 that people claim to be Sonic Adventure 3, such as Sonic Heroes or Sonic 06, and while they definitely do share aspects of the adventure games, they aren't called Sonic Adventure 3, so I don't really consider either of them to be definitively Sonic Adventure 3. So that's just a little example of how far the Sonic Adventure 3 conversation has come. People have tried to end it by claiming games not titled Sonic Adventure 3 are actually Sonic Adventure 3. I think it's time I move on to why Sonic Adventure 3 is even such a hot topic in the Sonic community in the first place. Both Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 are games that almost every Sonic fan considers to be good, and while they definitely haven't aged the greatest, they do still provide two of Sonic's greatest adventures to date. Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 have a unique way of playing the game, where the story is told through different characters you play as throughout the game. In Sonic Adventure 1, you can choose between Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Big, and Gamma, with Adventure 2 streamlining the process a bit to include a hero and dark story featuring 3 characters each. After beating every story in both games, a final story is unlocked and is the one you beat the game in. This setup of multiple characters and multiple stories isn't one exclusively used by the adventure games in the Sonic series, but they are the reason it's popular. The first step to making a Sonic Adventure 3 would be to gather the characters that would be present in the game and figure out how their stories would be woven together like they are in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Another reason fans have been clamoring for a Sonic Adventure 3 is because of the adventure game's specific gameplay style. The gameplay in the adventure games consists of mostly linear levels with momentum and the ways the characters interact with level design. There's a reason a lot of people still play the adventure games to this day, and that's largely because of how fun it is to just play through a level as Sonic, or Shadow in SA2. These levels are iconic for a multitude of reasons. The stage aesthetics, story, and level design all create some of the most fun you can have while playing a Sonic game. This kind of level was still used for a bit after the adventure games, which can be seen in games like Heroes and 06, but it eventually got replaced in favor of the boost formula. This is probably one of the largest reasons why fans have been having the Sonic Adventure 3 conversation for so long, because for almost 15 years now, with only slight deviations, the boost has been the only real gameplay style for Sonic. Fans that want the style of levels present in the adventure games haven't really had anything since Unleashed, and because those levels were so good, they have wanted more ever since. Other than the level design, another big aspect of the adventure games was their sense of scale. The scope of the story in the adventure games was massive, not only because it had to balance many different characters, but also the stakes that were present in both games' stories. In Sonic Adventure 1, there was an ancient monster, Chaos, that was going to destroy the city, and of course Eggman wanted to use Chaos for his own benefit. Sonic Adventure 2 takes things even further, with Eggman threatening to destroy the planet with the Eclipse Cannon. Both adventure games provided a ton of lore and tiny story moments that are usually missing in modern Sonic games, from things such as Gamma's and Amy's story in Adventure 1, to Shadow's entire backstory in Adventure 2. Those kind of moments haven't really happened outside of these games. The only games that really get close in my opinion are Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Frontiers, only 2 games in the dozens that have been released since the adventure games. So that's another thing that would need to be utilized for Sonic Adventure 3, the scope of the story, and additions to the overall Sonic universe. The final thing that Adventure 3 would be incomplete without are the multiple playable characters. Both adventure games had 6 playable characters, some with similar gameplay styles, especially in Adventure 2, but others were very unique. Almost too unique. Big the cat. Regardless, Sonic Adventure 3 would need a big cast of playable characters, and luckily with the third update for Sonic Frontiers, it seems Sonic Team isn't entirely opposed to the idea of having a bunch of playable characters for a modern Sonic game. I don't personally think only having returning characters would be enough though. Both adventure games included major additions to the Sonic cast, like Chaos, Rouge, and of course, Shadow the Hedgehog himself. So that's the final real thing that would need to be present, and is another reason people have been asking for a Sonic Adventure 3, the characters. All of this comes together to create what should be Sonic Adventure 3, but something I wonder is, does there even need to be a Sonic Adventure 3? Now before I get into why I ask this question, I want to answer it to avoid any misconceptions about what I'm going to say. So here you go. I would love a Sonic Adventure 3. In fact, both adventure games are some of my favorite video games of all time. And if Sega were to announce a Sonic Adventure 3 tomorrow, it would probably break the internet, all things considered. So why am I even asking this kind of question then? If I want a Sonic Adventure 3, then why do I ask if it even needs to exist? Well, the first thing to consider is that it's simply been so long since the first 2 adventure games that a sequel nowadays just doesn't seem like something that would need to happen. Despite both games being called Sonic Adventure, and Sonic Adventure 2 having the 2 in it, There is no continuity between their stories at all. You could play Sonic Adventure 2 without ever playing Sonic Adventure 1, and you would understand everything perfectly. Looking back at one of the first things I said in this video, I talked about how some fans consider games like Sonic Heroes and Sonic 06 to be Sonic Adventure 3, and if either of those games were titled Sonic Adventure 3, then I think it could make a bit of sense. Neither game features continuity from either adventure game, other than the characters obviously, and both feature multiple playable characters with different intersecting stories. However, like I said, because they aren't titled Sonic Adventure 3, I don't think they can immediately be called such, despite the similarities they have. But those games do actually help prove my point though. Sonic Adventure 3 probably wouldn't need to exist for any other reason besides being an extremely marketable name. Some Sonic games that share similarities with the adventure games have been released after SA2, but they haven't been titled SA3. And I think Sonic Team realizes how important naming a game Sonic Adventure 3 is. Sonic Adventure 3 would need to be one of Sega's biggest projects in a very long time, one that couldn't fail or just be mediocre. And I think that's my main reason for asking this kind of question. I think Sonic Adventure 3 is inevitable. There eventually will be a game titled Sonic Adventure 3, and whether that's good or not depends on the criteria I talked about earlier in this video, which is the reason why I went over it. Because even though a game could be titled Sonic Adventure 3, I don't think it would be anything other than a marketing tool unless it also included those main aspects of the original adventure games. And if it were just a marketing tool, almost everyone would be extremely disappointed in it. So the true reason I ask if there should even be a Sonic Adventure 3 is, because would you really want it if it were just some half-baked game that has SA3 as the name? Imagine if Sonic Forces was titled SA3. It would be even more of a disaster than it already was. And that's my main issue. I'm not fully confident that Sega has the resources and manpower to actually make a game worthy of being titled Sonic Adventure 3. Maybe the question is, should there even be a Sonic Adventure 3 now? And with the current Sonic team, the one whose most recent game is Sonic Frontiers, unfortunately I think the answer for me is a no. There is luckily some hope however. With the success of Sonic Frontiers, Sonic Team is supposedly getting a bigger budget for their Sonic games, so who really knows then? Like I said, I do think Sonic Adventure 3 is inevitable, but hopefully Sega picks the right time to do it, so they're able to pull it off and have it be one of the greatest Sonic games ever made. Well, that was a lot of info to go over. I really wanted to make this video just because it was a genuine thought I had, and while I came to my own conclusion in this video, I want to know what you all think about Sonic Adventure 3 down in the comments. Give all the reasoning or explanation you want for justifying Sonic Adventure 3's existence, explain why you think Sonic 06 is actually Sonic Adventure 3, or just rip apart my points. But do keep it civil, don't go attacking anyone. I'd love to see Sonic Adventure 3 someday, but I'd love it even more if it was a perfect game, and I'm hoping Sonic Team is waiting for the right moment to do just that. Anyways, leave a like if you enjoyed this kind of thought explanation sort of video, and I'll see you next time.